I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Underdeveloped here, and today we have another video for you guys. We have a movie review for the Beetlejuice sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Like 30-something years later.
Almost 40, I think.
I think it came
It's
out
an
in
80s
88.
movie. Yeah.
88, so almost 40 years, but like mid-30s. But we kind of had this whole nostalgia thing where we're bringing back movies that's like 20, 30 years ago.
It's a fad.
Yes,
It's industry fad.
It is a fad. It is a fad. Michael Keaton has played Batman again after some 30-something years.
Yeah.
What other characters he's going to revive years later?
Maybe Mr. Mom? I don't fucking know.
Maybe Mr. Mom too. Hey. But anyways, Beetlejuice. It is directed yet again by Mr. Tim Burton, and the writers of Wednesday, Alfred, Gough, and Miles Millar. They are the screenwriters for this, and so pretty much it's the same team for Wednesday. Tim Burton and Alfred, Gough, Miles Millar that are kind of coming back and making it. So it's some smart brains, you know what I mean? And most of the original brains from the first one.
Yeah.
So at least it's not just like these random guys coming in and...
Yeah. They brought back everyone. Even Danny Elfman came back.
Yeah.
Well, mostly everyone, except for one certain cast member who's gotten rid of for good reasons.
Yeah, well, 3 of them, technically.
Well, yeah, but only one... Well, I mean, yeah, 3 of them. Yeah, I forgot about Gia Davis and Alec Baldwin, to be honest.
Yeah.
Overall, like, I'd say it has a good chunk of the charm that the first one had. Obviously not quite the same, but you still have, like, some good comedic moments, interesting new characters, and they even brought back some of the old, like, some of the old fucking claymation animation for the sandworms and shit. So that was interesting to see.
Michael Keaton, that's probably the most crucial ingredient to this movie. And he brings it just the same as the first one.
He still got it.
I recently watched the first one again after a while, and yeah, he still got it. He still has this zing. He still has this vigor. You know what I mean? He still has the comedic timing. He still has his whole crazy antics. The style is pretty much there, like with all the sandworm looks and how certain animations look. It kind of plays homage and it stays loyal to its original style from the 80s.
Yeah.
But with a little more CG. But yeah, most importantly, he kills it. The whole cast, honestly, I thought brought it. Willem Dafoe was really funny. He plays this actor that died in a grenade accident, in a stunt accident. And now he's a detective in the underworld. Yeah. And in the ghost world, and he's basically trailing the main characters as the story progresses, being very incompetent.
Yeah, like
doing so.
Because the joke with him is that he's like an actor. He was an action movie actor who did all these cheesy ass fucking cop movies, and now he actually is a cop, but he still treats it like he's acting, and his like assistant like this feeds into his delusions, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just really funny.
Yeah, I love. That's probably like my favorite recurring bit of the movie.
Yeah, it's a recurring bit. And it's great. That's like an excellent bit, and Willem Dafoe, of course, nails it. Like he knows everything else.
Oh yeah.
And only character. I mean, I think her character's whatever. Jenna Ortega's character is kind of whatever as a main character.
She's fine.
I think she's the only character that's like really like whatever.
Very standard. Very standard. I have trouble with my mom. I'm rebellious. Kind of thing.
Kind of run the mill. So it's not really her fault.
Yeah, like she doesn't really have a whole lot to work with.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting seeing this character like, hey, because like in the first movie, Lydia's like, hey, I'm rebelling from my parents by being goth. But here it's like Lydia's still goth, so Astrid has to be, I'm rebelling the goth by being as normal as I can be. Yeah,
they should really got into the mother-daughter dynamic. Maybe they had some issues just because, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like she's doing things that she used to do back in days, and now she has to deal with that. Like, but and they didn't really make that interesting. It's more just like my father's gone. You won't show me him, so I resent you. You know what I mean? Like, that's good, but it's not really like if we really want to like pay homage to the original movie and to show maybe literary symmetry, that's I think a good route to go. That will make her interesting and it'll make you interesting. Maybe you're not goth anymore like that. Maybe you're trying to put that behind you and do something else. You know what I mean? You know, like. And then, like, to me, you're still the same after all these years. Like,
it's
still
kind
playing
of
Gough. It's kind of like...
I think it's super weird that I think it's super weird that she has the exact same hairstyle that she had back then.
Yeah, because they're trying to show you there's still Lady D. It's like, no, like, let's do something. Maybe she's a whole different vibe now. That would be interesting.
I mean, that's what happens to a lot of people. Even if she was still goth, like, again, I feel like more aesthetic changes would have been necessary. Because what woman, goth or not, keeps the same hairstyle for that many years? Like, I can name one.
In the world, we always change styles almost every year. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, maybe everyone's even a newer style of goth if you're gonna go goth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not even that. Maybe. I get it. She has a show, so she's trying to keep them. She got to keep the facade. But maybe a good thing is that she keeps the facade for the show. She hates the show, and when she comes out of the show, she goes back to her normal self and realizes she's very different than what she used to be.
Yeah.
Maybe the show is this a representation of the past.
That could be a decent idea. Absolutely.
That's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, that is something they could have played with. I don't think the biggest problem with the story is that they don't really put so much effort into the story.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem with it is that you have a whole bunch of different plot threads that all could have used a lot more attention and care, and they just threw them all together.
3 potentially very interesting stories. Like the whole bait and switch with the guy that she kind of, made a love connection with, and he's a serial killer, so you have to stop him. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Beetlejuice's wife, and then she has to marry him to protect Beetlejuice from the wife, and the wife is a real force of nature because she's sucking out souls, so she's a real damning threat. Like, that could be interesting too, but I feel everything just neatly wrapped with the bow. Everything just resolved quickly.
It is.
And there's no connection. So you have the whole reconnected with the father, that goes quickly. Everything is solved fast. It's like, where is the sense of urgency? Where's the sense of adventure? Where's the sense of, like, us really going through a journey, us really getting challenged, us really going through an unstoppable force and almost losing, but finally getting a win at the end to make everything feel earned. It doesn't make things feel earned, make things feel rushed.
It does feel rushed, especially when certain characters like Dolores, Beetlejuice's wife, she gets barely any screen time. Like, the movie, very early in the movie, we have this very elaborate montage of her literally putting herself back together. She gets to kill Danny DeVito, and then after that, she just kind of comes and goes every once in a while. Like, she's not really much of a thought in this movie. I won't blame people if they forget she's a character going on forward from this.
Yeah,
because she really should have been the main crux of her own movie. They shouldn't have had both Jeremy and Dolores in the same movie. I think that's a misstep.
We could actually maybe more scenes with her and Beetlejuice to get their dynamics.
Yeah.
Maybe more like how maybe it's more than a scene how they met, or maybe it could be really their connection and their love. Actually let's explore that dynamic. You know what I mean?
With that, I think the idea with that is that, if we did that, the movie would be a little too dark. It'd probably be they'd probably worry about alienating the whole fan base, changing the age rating. But I'm like, come on, something's got to make that change. That's what they're worried about, but I wouldn't be worried about that.
But I mean, that's what makes movies good. You know what I mean? You don't. That's exactly. Stop making things the same. Stop just recreating the movies. I'm trying to bait for money.
Preach, man. Preach. I couldn't agree more.
It's about telling the story means everything. That's the most important ingredient. And if you have to drastically change the story, fuck it.
Yeah.
That has worked in the past. Look at James Cameron. He makes sequels that are very different. Look at Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. They're very different movies. Entirely different movies.
Yeah.
Entirely different kinds of plots. Entirely different kind of tone.
Yeah.
And it works. It became one of the greatest movies of all fucking time.
Yeah.
Same thing with Alien Aliens.
Alien Aliens, completely different genres of movies.
Absolutely. Yeah, same thing with Terminator. Terminator 1, Terminator 2. Terminator 1 is a fucking thriller. It's a chase against this madman trying to kill you. And the second one is a fucking action hero movie. Same thing with Aliens is the fucking thriller, almost a horror thriller. People getting chopped off one by one. It's
basically a slasher movie in space.
Yeah, it's basically a slasher movie in space. You know what I mean? And the second one is action adventure, filled with adventure and family and all that shit. And you get to explore more of the aliens, whatever else. Why did we even get to explore more of the underworld?
Yeah, I mean, we technically did, but not nearly enough this way we wanted to.
What is the Great Beyond? What is Soul Train? Kind of plays into it. People dance by a train, great. Let's explore. Let's get into the crux of the underworld. How it really works.
The Soul Train is a dumb pun.
Let's go deeper into it. Let's go deeper into deeper realms, deeper things. You know what I mean? Just surface level. The only thing that makes this movie kind of interesting is that just the performances. Really, that's the only thing that saves it. The performances and the humor was there. Catherine Harrow nailed it. She crushed even more so in the first movie. Even more so in the first movie.
Yeah,
I thought she fucking crushed it, dude. She was hilarious.
Exactly. Like, she proved that she could really hold her own. As like, she didn't need a supporting character to like make her jokes work. She just makes her jokes work.
She worked better without those.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think she probably has more screen time in this than the original. If I think, because the original has a lot more. The original also has a lot of characters doing a lot of things.
Have the whole ghost characters with Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. We've seen they passed off into the Great Beyond.
Well, they said they passed off the Great Beyond.
Oh, they did. Okay, I missed that. I mean, I assume that. I guess I missed that piece of dialogue they just said. Said that.
That's what. Yeah, I remember Lydia told Astrid that pretty early on.
That's great.
Great. At least they explained it, but
what
still.
the fuck's the Great Beyond?
We need.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, like
let's explore that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that just like don't get super explained, and even then, there's a lot of things that just don't make a whole lot of sense.
Why would she go off the Great Beyond when it takes forever to even get your fucking ticket, whatever else? Like, would you have to wait in a room for mad long when you die?
I'm assuming it's part of the chant that you just go skip right there.
Oh, so like kind of like okay, you just get the expressway.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it has to be.
But even
it's kind of implied, but still, I would prefer
so that's not even that's accurate. But that's not even the problem. The problem is just the pacing. The script is clunky. The pacing is incredibly off. Mm-hmm. You can't. They open up a bunch of different plot lines and they don't deliver. Instead of giving us, they just give us extended sequence, extended song and dance sequence.
Yeah,
which was fun.
Yeah, it was cool, but still, like, I feel like that was good enough for one sequence. I don't think it's an adequate resolve to like so many other things happening.
Chasing entertainment value rather than actually just trying to tell a good story.
Yeah,
like you can do both.
You just here it's like it feels like kind of like I don't want to say this is done for a paycheck, but I think a lot of these nostalgia movies absolutely are.
Yes, I believe this movie's done for a paycheck. It's just one of the better ones.
Yeah,
they're done for a paycheck.
Exactly. Like this movie could have been a million times worse.
It had so many but it had so much potential. It could have been a million times better too.
It could have been.
This could have been a really good movie.
Yeah.
If they just stuck to one plot line and really fleshed that out, this could have been a really strong story.
I agree.
Anyone, not even this. They could choose They could choose the boy or the fucking wife, and it could have made a great story.
Mm-hmm. Even if they just chose paired one of those and maybe mix that with the Astrid Lydia stuff.
Exactly. Maybe more character development between these two characters.
Yeah.
Really flesh out Lydia. Maybe see her, not she's a regular mom, but she's pretending to be her old self for money. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah. That's very interesting. And that's real. That
would also fuel Astrid's claims that she's a fraud.
Exactly.
Like, it would only boost her character motivation.
100%. On top of the ghost shit. You know what I mean? One thing they built up Astrid not believing in ghosts to win, so made me excited to see her get immersed into the world for the first time. Yeah. And even so, it's kind of like, okay, I'm here now. Mm-hmm. Like maybe he's a little bit blown away. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's the first part with this first movie. This is Alec Baldwin and Gene Davis are this normal couple that just in seconds making plans with their lives in seconds dead in the underworld with this whole new realm of characters, and they treat it like okay, we dead. It's like they're just part of the status quo. Like no, should be existential dread.
I mean, I remember them being a little confused at first, but
then existential dread.
But then months pass, and then the new family moves in.
They didn't do a good chance of showing that space of time. You know what I mean? But even when he initially died, it kind of is, okay, I'm just taking it and that's just it. No, it's like, should have been something like, I'm dead. What the fuck? We had so much plans.
Was that not in the first movie?
I recently watched it. I didn't know. Literally after they died, I mean, it was kind of like they went to the underworld. They kind of were just curious about navigating the world. And then they got pissed off about people moving into their house and shit like that. Like, it was no real, moment of, serious dread. You know what I mean? Existential dread, and realizing that I'm seriously dead. Mm-hmm. Everything is gone. My family, never going to see me again. Mm-hmm. Our plans scrap. Something. But I guess that's too real for a family film like that.
Maybe.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's how I work. I like real-life logic in these fictional scenarios. Because that's what makes it strong. Because you get to play with these, and it makes it feel more real.
The thing is, with me, I don't really care if it's real life logic or not, as long as it's a consistent logic within its own world. That works for me.
But I think human nature still should be it should be existent, unless it's the world where we know they just know that is real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Then I'm cool with it.
There's a lot of things that you could explain in the universe that would make that make sense. But hey, it's normal for them, so it shouldn't be a big
deal. But it wasn't, so it should be a level of
because it's
adjustment.
Because the spirit realm is still a secret in this world. So.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's my problem with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I really felt. I mean, it could be wacky. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Beetlejuice being who he is. I'm cool with that. Mm-hmm. This is...
Yeah.
But even though it's still a good time, you know what I mean? Keaton still brings the thunder.
Yeah.
All the characters, pretty good. Other than Jenna Ortega, I thought you could use a lot more work.
Yeah.
Catherine Harrow knocked out the park for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overall, fun time, but it's not real. But, like, if you're a fan of the first one, I guess go see it if you really want to. But I can't say I'd recommend it for anyone who, like, isn't already familiar with the first movie. Or, like, anyone who's, like, wants to go watch a fun movie.
Doesn't
like,
really
you can do
offer
something. You
anything
can get something better,
Doesn't
frankly.
really offer anything new under the sun.
Not really.
It really doesn't.
It's just an excuse for gags. And, hey, if you're in the mood for that, then that's fine. But if you're not in the mood for that, then this movie doesn't have anything for you.
Yep. So I say it's time for scores. I say my score is about 62%. Yeah.
I was thinking more like 66, to be honest.
Okay.
Because like I do think it's entertaining enough to be above 65. I don't think it's like I think the entertainment value is the only thing keeping it from low 60s because this plot is quite frankly a mess.
I think above 60s is even way too good for this movie. If I'm being honest. That's me being generous. You know what I mean? Only because of the performance was strong. You know what I mean? It wasn't completely incompetent. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of. But it fails as a movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I have to give it low. I mean, my scores are really not far off anyway, so it's not. Yeah. I don't think there's too much daylight between that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, if you've seen this movie, let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you big fans of the first movie? Please feel free to talk about that. And also, of course, like and subscribe and all that. And we'll catch you next time for some more content.
See you guys.